Hey everyone, how are we? Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit controversial for some who have beliefs set in stone. If you are not open to changing your belief or expanding your mind and getting yourself out of the box, then this video is going to be quite confrontational for you. If you are already on your spiritual path and you have an open mind and you're ready to move on, then stay tuned because this video is perfect. Today we're going to talk about 5D and what it is and why it's necessary and how to achieve it and everything else to do with 5D. Okay, so 5D. Now, in the spiritual community, everyone talks 3D, 4D, 5D, not so much 6D, but 3, 4, and 5D. What is it? 3, 4, and 5D are states of consciousness, states of awareness. They are vibrational frequencies which put you in a certain state of consciousness. Okay, so 3D is very fear-based, it's very manipulative, easily led, not very in tune with yourself, not very aware of your surroundings, very negative thoughts, all those sorts of things. So a lot of the world at the moment is 3D. Okay, it's very tuned into the matrix is what we would say. Okay, so watch the TV, listen to all the news, not listen to your intuition, you know, those kinds of things. Do what you're told. Very much of a follower, okay, and locked in fear. Okay, it's quite hard to explain the different dimensions, but they are all states of consciousness. Now 4D is a transition period. Okay, that's a state of transition. So you're going out of the fear, you're starting to realize there's more to life than just the physical and what you see and what you hear and what you touch. 4D, you're starting to realize that there are other dimensions and things are vibrationary. You're starting to move more into the heart, not so much from the head. Okay, 3D is very mind oriented. 4D, you're starting to move out of your mind and into your heart, starting to make that transition. You're starting to accept others and others' beliefs. You're starting to understand that we are all energy and creations of God. Okay, and then that's the transition phase. Then we move into 5D, which is oneness, which you start to understand that we are all one. You start to not only understand it, but you start to feel it. Okay, this is where 5D plays such an important role. The 3D and 4D is more mind-based, so thoughts, beliefs. 5D is more heart-based, so it's more of a knowing. It's more, you have compassion for everyone and everything, even those that do harm to you. It's full of love. It's where you realize that you're not the only ones in the multiverse. It's where you realize everything is vibration. It's where you start to tune into your higher self and realize you are spirit and that you never die. You start to realize that reincarnation, well, it's not even reincarnation, it's all the one life, because you only transform. So there is no one life and this life and that life. It's all the same life. You just transform into another dimension, into another thought process, another dream state, if you will. It's where you start to realize that aliens are not demons. They're not fallen angels. They are literally essences of God, exactly the same as you. 5D is where you start to understand that every single living thing is equal to you, is you. It's not you and me, it's you are me. So in the 3 and 4D, it's you and I. You as an individual and myself. In 5D, it is you are me. We are one. It's where you completely begin, well, not completely, but where you begin to understand the laws of the universe, where you start to converse with others in the universe, multiverse, whatever you may may choose to call it. It's where you stop thinking and start feeling. Okay, 5D is feeling. It's your heart. It's not your head. It's your heart. 5D is the way of the future. That is the beginnings of the way of the future. Okay, we're talking about Earth in this particular reality, in this particular dimension. We're moving from 3D, so we're in the transition of 4D at the moment, into 5D. Now, as a collective, that will take some time. It's not an overnight thing. Everybody has to go through their own journey to get there. But as a collective, we're in 4D. Many people will say, no, we're not, we're in 5D. I'm sorry, but look around. The majority of people are still in very much 3D. They're still in fear, they're still in judgment, they're still in non-acceptance. So they're still very 3D. But we're in transition. Okay, but it's a transition period from 3 to 5D. So we're in 4D, that transition phase. Now the 5D new Earth is the heart. Okay, it is all heart-centered. It is non-judgment. It is 5D new Earth is a reality, a timeline where we're not just talking about advanced technologies. We're not just talking about peace and prosperity and abundance. We're talking about returning to galactic society. Okay, we're talking 5D New Earth is returning to galactic society as we were before the evil ones came in and took over and brought hell to earth, so to speak. Okay, so this is why when I say everybody's equal, including Jesus, this is the mindset you need to have. 5D New Earth is returning to galactic society. Now, how do we get to this mind state? By doing what you love, getting out of your head and into your heart. Follow your passion, doing what excites you, helping others. What's your favorite hobby? Spending time in that. Going hiking, swimming, walking at the beach, whatever it is that you enjoy doing. For those in the Northern Hemisphere, building snowmans, having snowball fights. Us in the Southern Hemisphere, God only knows what, going to the beach. Even in winter we can still go to the beach. There's so many different things. It all depends on you. For me, it's riding horses and spending time with horses. That's my passion. So it just depends on what your hobbies are and what excites you and what you're passionate about. If you love music, play music, get involved in music. That's getting you into the 5D mindset. If you love painting, go start some painting. Okay? Because anything you enjoy doing is getting you out of your head and into your heart. And that's where the 5D vibration is. It's in your heart. So a lot of people think 5D is a different place, a place where you go. It's a place where you go mentally, not physically. Okay? So when we're talking about 5D, 3D, 4D, 6D, all of those Ds, we're actually talking about states of consciousness, states of awareness. When we start talking about physical realms, we're talking about density. Okay? So we are in the 4th density right now on Earth to match the 4th dimensional consciousnness. Okay? Now, Earth is 5D. Okay? The human race, just the human race, is now in 4D, entering the 5th density. Now, 5th density, okay, when we're talking about planets and civilizations, we're talking about vibrational frequencies of the physical realm. Okay, of the physical. Now, it gets a little complicated because you've got the dimensions, which are states of awareness. We've got density when we're talking about the physical environment, so the physical planet. Then when we're talking about what density you are as a being, that's when we start to, the higher density, the more abilities you have. So a third density human will have pretty much not much connection or knowledge of their spiritual abilities. For example, they won't follow their intuition. A lot of third density, you know, the voices you hear in your head, people say that's schizophrenia, bipolar, and all of that. Okay, it's not. Most of the time it's not. It's just you're not identifying your spiritual side. So you're thinking there's something wrong with you, when in fact there isn't. Okay, it's just your spiritual side trying to awaken you to move on up. Instead, the doctors drug you and tie you down and throw you in a padded cell and say you're not normal, when in fact you are normal. You're just tapping in your spiritual senses. That's it. But the third density doesn't recognize the spiritual world or the spiritual senses, so it closes it off. Okay, fourth density. Okay, you are starting to become more spiritually aware, so you'll start to listen and trust your intuition. You'll have that inner knowing. You will start to communicate with spirit. Pardon me. You will start to feel energy. A lot of fourth density are empaths. Most of the empaths are uncontrolled empaths, which is why they have such a hard time with being an empath, because it's uncontrolled. You know, there's a lot of, again, fourth density is just a transition between the third and the fifth. Okay, so if you're in the fourth density, chances are if you're meditating, you are getting some images, you're starting to get some downloads, you can feel the energy around you, you are starting to pick up on it, you're able to receive messages from spirit and interpret them, things like that. You'll start to have dreams, premonitions, all kinds of different things. They are the beginnings of your spiritual abilities. Okay, now we move into the fifth density when we're talking about spiritual abilities, and this is where you become a medium, where you can fully communicate with spirit. You don't need to sit in meditation to get messages. You can talk to them all day long. You don't have to close your eyes or anything like that. Where telepathy comes into it, telekinesis starts to come into it, a bit of levitation comes into it, opening up astral portals, where you start astral traveling, all those kinds of things. And then you go up to the sixth density, which is you can astral travel, where you can open portals, where you can go into other people's dreams, where you can appear in other people's meditations and dreams and all sorts of different things. So the higher the density, the more spiritual abilities you have. Okay, so how do we get to 5D consciousness? Simply, like I said before, doing what you enjoy. Now remember, 5D consciousness, when we're talking about 5D, we can't judge another, okay? Because when you come from the heart, you don't judge another. So if you're judging another, you're not in 5D yet, okay? So we don't judge another. We accept people's beliefs. We accept all beings, regardless of our beliefs, okay? We accept them. We start to understand why people do what they do. We start to look at criminals as spirit having an experience. Doesn't have to agree with us because we're not living that experience. It's their chosen experience and what they need. So you start looking at criminals differently. Yes, you start looking at pedophiles differently. You start looking at Satanists differently, simply because the higher you vibrate in your consciousness, the more your consciousness expands and the more awareness you get. Therefore, the more information and knowledge you receive or you have access to. So you don't have to think, I need to be 5D, but wait a second, I can't stand that person. When you're truly in 5D, you don't think of that person that way anymore. Your thought patterns change because now you're coming from a place of the heart. If you're still thinking that, for example, aliens are demons, or he's my savior, etc., etc., you're still not in 5D. Because in 5D, you come from the heart and you know from your heart that we are all connected and we are all one. There is no separation. So it's not you and I, it's you are me. I am you. We are one. So if you take, I'll just quickly explain oneness in the most simple way that I can. And each time I explain it to people this way, people get it. So I hope you get it too. So if we take an octopus and we take the head or the body, it's the same thing, whatever. We take the big round part of the octopus and we call that source, God, creator, whatever term you like to use. It's all the same thing to me. Okay, it's all the same thing. God, source, creation, vibration, whatever. Okay, if that is God, let's just use the term God because that's what people understand. So in my beliefs and how I've been taught from the Venusians and Pleiadians, the head of the octopus is God, which is all creation. Okay, it's not the creator, it is creation itself. And then we take each leg or tentacle of the octopus and we extend it and extend it and extend it and extend it. So each leg of the octopus is an incarnation of you, or of spirit, of source. So each leg of the octopus is an extension of source. And so if you take, let me see, if you take a ball of wool, okay, and you stretch that ball of wool out, okay, now you've got that ball of wool always constantly connected to the main ball of the wool. You tie a knot at several parts of that string of wool. That wool will always be wool. I'm not explaining this very well at all. Let's go back to the octopus. Thanks guys, but the wool doesn't work. So each leg of the octopus is an incarnation, one of your incarnations. Okay, you are still God. That's right. You are still creation itself. You have not separated from source. You have not separated from God at all. You are still God, you're still source, still creation. It's just that now part of that God source energy has come up with an identity and believed it to separate itself from everything else so that it can have a particular experience from a perspective of separation. So it can expand, so it can grow in consciousness, so it can become more aware of itself without ever leaving itself. So each one of those legs of that octopus is you, even though we look differently, we think differently, we feel differently, we're aged differently, we got different likes, different dislikes, and different personalities, different attitudes, everything. That other person, that tree branch, that animal, that bit of dirt is all still you, because that bit of source energy has chosen to extend itself beyond the main ball of the octopus, the main head of the octopus, to believe it's having a separate experience so that it can expand in awareness. Therefore, it can create from a different perspective. So when you're in 5D, you understand this. So when we look at, I know I've been using Jesus a lot, but it's something everybody can relate to. Everybody knows about Jesus. Okay, every person on the planet, unless they're on some weird deserted island with some weird tribe that's never heard of Jesus. Everybody knows. When you're in 5D, you know that every single being, whether it's an ant, whether it's an elephant, a tree, a bit of dust, or another being high in the sky, from another planet, from another realm, from another dimension, they are all equal. Everything is equal. Everything is you. No one is above or below. The grass you sit on is not below you. It is you. It's an essence of you, because you are source energy. You are creation, as is the grass. That tree you chop down to build your house, you are removing a part of yourself. Okay? Now this is oneness. We are all one. So when we look at beliefs, the reason why you cannot go into a galactic civilization worshipping or praying or following another is because you are following, praying and worshipping yourself. That's right. When you look at Jesus and you pray to him or ask for his guidance, you're asking yourself. Every single person on this planet has this information. They have this access. They have access to this information. It is your beliefs that hold you and prevent you from accessing this information. Now, you can move into 5D consciousness still with your belief in Jesus. You can do this because 5D consciousness is coming from the heart. But what you cannot do is you cannot go into a galactic society with these beliefs, because by doing so you will only damage your own consciousness, and the other galactics of the higher dimensional vibrations of the higher consciousness will not interact with you, simply because their energy, their vibration is so powerful. It will bring up and stir up every bit of negative emotion, anything that needs healing, any belief that's holding you back. Their energy will bring all that to the surface, all at the same time. And this has happened many, many, many times in the Secret Space program. This is why when people go into the Secret Space program and carry these beliefs and bring these beliefs with them, they are memory wiped, because it causes an absolute mental and emotional breakdown. And this is why the galactics have not made contact publicly, simply because the human race as a collective is not ready. We have not done the work within ourselves to get to a point where we can and are able to be in the presence of higher dimensional, more advanced beings vibrationally without having a mental and emotional breakdown. If you think I'm making this up and I'm lying and I'm exaggerating, just talk to anybody who has contact, decent contact, not the, oh, I've been abducted, aliens are demons and they all need to be shot. Not those people. The ones who's actually done the work and has the real contact. And they will tell you the exact same thing. So 5D New Earth is about returning to galactic society, which means you are walking, talking with, living with, working with these galactic beings. It's not just about I'm all love and light and I'm positive. No, you have to make the effort and you have to do the work. This is imperative that you do so. 5D New Earth is all about galactic civilization. It's about moving between planets. It's about working with other dimensional and other planetary beings. It's not just about, I think about the positive, I only see the positive, everything's working for me, I feel great. Okay, it's not about that. So if you're really wanting to do the work, you need to empty your cup of beliefs. You need to cleanse that cup of beliefs, and you need to be open and allow information to come in. Until you empty and cleanse your cup of beliefs, you will not be able to go in to the new earth, which is the galactic earth. And I'm not saying this to put you off. I'm telling you so that you can do the work and prepare if you want to do it, if you want to be there. And the same goes for technology. Consciousness must equal the technology you're using. Otherwise, giving advanced technology to someone who is not conscious enough is exactly the same as giving a toddler the keys to a nuclear weapon and saying, do not touch. It is disastrous. Consciousness must equal technology. If you want to be a part of the 5D New Earth, you must empty and cleanse your cup. Otherwise, it's simply not going to happen. You may exist in the 5D New Earth, but it will be very lonely and you will not do well. Simply because the New Earth is a galactic Earth. So all this aliens are demons, let it go. All this, I have a savior, I believe in the Lord my savior, it needs to be let go. They are your equals. They are not more positive, they are not more negative, they're not higher than you, they're no better than you, they are your equal. When you are asking the archangels for guidance, you are asking yourself for guidance. You are your guidance. When you move into 5D, you understand this. And you feel it, you know it, and you know how to implement it. 3D is, I need a savior. 4D is, I'm starting to learn, I'm starting to get a picture. 5D is, I know it. I feel it. And it's this knowing and feeling that 5D is all about. It's not about learning from another. It's not about asking another. It's about knowing. It's about feeling. The information comes from within. It doesn't come from a book. It doesn't come from the internet. It doesn't come from anyone else. 5D is you stepping into your power of a infinite spiritual being. I will leave you with that. I wish everyone a good day. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.